Hello and welcome to the Dev Q&A. I hope all you guys enjoyed that weight screen. It was pretty fun. Welcome to our first ever edition of the Dev Q&A. We didn't just go with a fancy name. We just got devs. You guys have questions. We've got answers. I'm Titan Isaiah from the community team, and today I've got Tina and Fish from the design team. How are you guys doing today?
Doing
really
great.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, since this is kind of our first Q&A, can you guys just kind of like tell the chat? I'm sure they're familiar with you, but if we've got some new viewers in, just kind of explain what you guys do on the design team.
Sure.
I am a events designer for Smite, and I basically design a lot of the events that you see, like the Odyssey and Grim Omens event and stuff like that. I also, on top of that, write a lot of our voice packs for like the scripts and stuff. So
nice, and also write the cut voice lines that they've seen in the recent video, right?
Yes.
Too bad, Tina.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Fish?
So I've been a designer on Smite for a while. I started with God design. I designed Robin and several gods since then. I designed adventures for a season. I did some of Medusa and some of the Dodgy adventure. Now I'm kind of going through and looking for spots where Smite could use some polish pass. So I've been working on the recommended item builds and ongoing stuff to just make Smite the best it can be.
Yes, Fish is now your go-to guy for anything Project Olympus related. So be sure to hit him up on Twitter if you guys have any ideas on how to make Smite the best it can be. Well, we're live here, and we grabbed a few questions from Twitter that we can get into. But after we get done with those, we're just going to be interacting with chat. If you guys have questions, I'll let you guys know when to spam those questions in chat, and we'll get to as many as we can. We'll be here for about 30 minutes or so hanging out with you guys. So question first up, somebody asked on Twitter, when is the next update show? Well, I've got news for you. It's coming up soon. It's going to be March 4th. In a couple weeks, Wednesday, March 4th, you can expect the next update show. And I was told I could spoil something.
Go for it. Yeah, let's do it.
Medusa is going to be getting a new skin, and you can see it on March 4th. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be super exciting. And I know there's a big event coming that Tina's been working on. We can't spoil too much.
There is. Oh yeah, there is. I know. I'm like,
I've literally been doing it for weeks.
well, there's more than. I've been working on 3 events for that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up in Smite. So make sure you tune in March 4th. We'll have tons of new news, balance changes, god skins, and tons of awesome content for you to see. All right, next question. When will Weekend's announcer pack be released? Weekend announcer pack coming your way next Tuesday when the Ascendant Warrior update comes out. That's going to be the Mulan patch. Be sure to log in whenever that patch comes out. You can get the Weekend announcer pack. And fun fact, you can get it for free, and all you have to do is deal 667 damage.
Oh.
Call back to the meme. Got that Odin rework going. All right, next question. Somebody hit me up on Twitter, and this will be a good one for Tina. Have you guys ever thought about a Thanatos announcer pack that's just filled with bread puns?
No, I've never thought of that. But we can do it if people allow me to do it. For sure. I can do anything as long as I get the thumbs up, right?
Tina's got puns for days.
Right, yeah. And Thanatos, that voice pack was like one of my favorites, even though we just like pitched up some of the basic voice lines. Like, it just sounds so funny.
Yeah,
I want some like custom Thanatos lines to call out during game. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
All right, next question up. Somebody asked on Twitter, will suspension policies ever be revisited? And this is a good question. I talked to the support team, and they're absolutely open to feedback on making sure that the suspension policies are up to date. We've actually made a couple of recent changes last year with some of the help from the Olympians just to kind of call out like streamer harassment and stuff like that to go into the ban suspension policy. But the best way is to just submit a support ticket under that feedback option. All the tickets come to the support team, and they're open to your feedback.
Yeah, I think we're constantly looking to make sure that systems like that are, as good as possible, making sure that we're keeping players out who are just making the game unfun for others,
right? But
also not punishing people for regular stuff that isn't actually ban-worthy. Yeah. So,
cool. All right, and the last question that I got from Twitter, and this will be a good one for Fish. How do you guys decide what god will go into what class?
Okay. Yeah. So, after we've done the choosing the god process, which involves all the teams and a lot of time and making sure that each class gets some love. So a lot of times we will have tentatively slotted a god for a class already, just by nature of when we're choosing which gods we want to do, we want to make sure that if you're a warrior only player or a guardian only player or what have you, that you still get to be excited about some of our new launches. But there are some characters where when we're thinking about, oh, this would be a cool god to put into Smite, they're a little bit more open-ended. Oh, do we want to, like, they don't feel very magical, but that could still be a warrior or assassin or a hunter. A lot of times, if something gets the art team or the design team or other members of the brainstorms excited about one play style or another, that will influence it, because we want the players to have the most fun with whatever that god is. But I think the overall rule is what kind of makes sense, what feels good, what is the coolest and the most fun.
Nice. Now, this is a follow-up question. When you were designing gods, what class was your favorite to design?
Oh, interesting. So I had a lot of fun designing for classes that I played the most. I had like Ganesh. I was able to take a lot of insight from playing support, especially because I'd play with other members of the design team, some of whom were former pros, and they'd be stronger. And I'd be like, oh, well, I can still keep up if I play support. And I took a lot of those insights into designing that class because I was familiar playing with it. But I think I had fun designing all the classes, and getting to try each one out is something that's interesting and cool.
Nice. All right, and Tina, what's your favorite class to play in Smite?
My favorite class to play in Smite would be, well, I have two.
That's
I'm kind of
okay.
main on both. I really love junglers and hunters,
Nice.
but I also support when I have to.
A diverse,
Right. I support,
Yeah.
but only when I have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun because I love playing Kepri and I like playing his lobster skin where he makes sucky noises. So when he pulls people, he's like,
Thanks, Tina.
Yeah.
I love
Appreciate that.
part. I only play him, but I get banned from playing him because he's too good.
Kefri is real good right now.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up all the questions that we had prepared.
Cool.
This is live chat, so if you guys have questions for me, Tina, or Fish,
Send 'em in.
throw them in chat, and we're here hanging out with you guys and answering them. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, everybody?
So I see Meltdown Soul saying LOL. Toon Mister says, can we please fix the dual borders? That is actually going to be fixed in the next
Milan.
update.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had a fix that rolled out a couple weeks ago, but it missed dual on console. So we got to fix it, and next Tuesday when the patch goes live, everybody should get their ranked dual borders.
Yeah, of note, if you're seeing that issue on borders that are not for dual, let us know, because that's the issue as we understand it. So if yours is outside of that, we should look at it.
Yeah, cool. All right, a wicked one. How do you guys feel about beans and chili?
I don't really like beans because they make me fart and shit a lot.
Thanks. Well, I'm vegetarian, so I couldn't have chili without beans. So I'm absolutely pro beans and chili.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm pro beans and chili as well.
Yeah. You could get weirder, like, how do you feel about corn and chili? That's a little trickier, but beans,
Yeah. I
kinda
I'm
like
definitely
that.
pro. Yeah.
But they don't digest, so they just come out as corn in my shit.
Come on, Tina. Tina,
Wow.
please. Where's AJ when you need him?
Too bad, Tina.
Yeah.
Cool.
He'll just make stank face.
All right, let's see here. Zane Omega says, any skins for neglected gods? I'll kind of start this one out. I think
Oh.
we're doing a lot better of a job
Yeah.
getting some skins in for gods that haven't got one in a long time. And I think we've got one coming up that's going to be shown.
a couple coming up.
A couple coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, maybe a year or a little bit further back, we changed our system to involve kind of a score that includes both popularity and how long a god has gone without a skin, and combining those two in an intelligent way. And I think we've had a lot of success with that to make sure very few gods get completely neglected.
Yeah.
It can be a while if your god's not as popular, but we'll definitely get them. They're not forgotten.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that meeting where Travis came in and he actually took the integer for how long a god had gotten a skin and like turned it up a little
Yeah.
bit to make it more impactful. He's like, if they haven't gotten a skin in a long time,
Yeah.
they should probably be prioritized
Have it be
a little
more
bit.
Yeah.
impactful. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, let's see here. Legix5 says, on the Conquest map, why did you guys split the Harpies but only on one side? Fish, do you have a little bit of insight on that?
I do, yeah. So in the previous season, Mage was a very hectic lane, and you were constantly getting ganked from both sides. It was very difficult to feel like you had safety and you could focus on doing farm or even getting some aggressive plays because you're in so much danger. And we didn't want to take that away entirely. We still wanted you to have some elements of risk and definitely the ability for the jungler to gank. But by giving you a safe side, we allow you to focus like your vision, and like your safe plays around one side of the jungle, while being a little bit more confident that you're not going to get completely surprised on the other, so that you can be a little bit more aggressive and not constantly playing in fear.
Nice.
That's a good point.
Hey, we got some smart guys on these things.
All right, next question up. I've seen a couple people ask it. Are there any updates on the Smite lore? I know we've got a big event
AJ
coming
is the
up.
man to ask for that.
AJ
But
is
yes,
the
there's
man to
a
ask.
there's a big event coming up, and there will be. I promise you an update.
Yes.
Where the hell am I looking? Like I never
This
know.
one. Yeah.
Oh,
There's your camera.
hello.
Yep.
Yeah, there will be an update for that in the next event.
Yeah, and just so you know, it's constantly
It's
evolving.
really good.
We're
It's- yeah.
always working on like, oh hey, if this new god enters the Smite battlefield, what would that mean for the overall meta plot of Smite? And you guys just get larger peaks of that in stuff like the events we have coming up. So it's
Yeah.
always developing.
And I really like the lore because there's always so much. There are many Easter eggs in it if you catch it.
Yes, definitely.
So
Definitely.
pay attention. Pay
The
attention.
players who are caught up on the lore
Yeah.
are very vocal about it.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Oh,
so
yeah.
much going on, and there's some schemes happening in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Definitely stay
Sneaky,
tuned on the next
sneaky.
update show. Cool. All right, let's see here. Would you guys be interested in doing more collabs with third-party titles like you did for Ruby? I think we're always open
hell
to
yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
my policy
very
has
open.
always been, if you have a cool idea for a collaboration for Smite, if they're down, we're probably interested as well. Like they're
Yeah.
like, oh, would you like to do Disney and Smite? Like, heck yeah! Like anybody who comes knocking, like let's see if we can make something cool and integrate the two IP in a way that like makes sense and everybody feels good about it. That's always a cool thing.
Yeah, I think the team is super open for that. Those types of things take a long time, though. So, like,
Yeah, they do.
It
Yeah.
like has
Lots
lots
of
of
lot
moving
of
stuff that
work.
you have to
Yeah.
move through and marketing stuff that you have to move through and like making sure that the creators on both sides, both Smite and the IP that we integrate with, feel good about the representations. Like
Yeah.
it's not a trivial
Representation is very important.
Yeah, cool. All right, I've seen it both in Twitch and Mixer Chat now. Kills and assists back on the loading screen.
So that has been a while since I heard the discussion about it, but I want to say that while it is a feature that some people really enjoy, other players absolutely do not. And at the time, at least, the weight was in far more players did not want that information shared about them, and then players who actually did want to share it. So while if you have a really good score on a particular god, I definitely sympathize with wanting to show off, right? But we have to consider the overall feelings of our entire player base, and we will continue to evaluate and see if it makes sense. But I think when we turned it off, it did not.
Yeah, this was actually brought up by the Olympians in our meeting yesterday. We're not completely closed off to the idea, but we want, if we do bring it back, we want to do it in a way that's smart and in a way that is understandable for players, because the old way was kind of locked behind a secret system that you had to know about. Like they would only show if you bought a mastery skin, and like you could only hide certain things. So it's confusing for players on what information was hidden and how you could even get access to that information in the first place. So we're not closed off to the idea, but we're definitely, want to take our time and think about it. And if we bring it back, we want to do it right.
And
We don't want to do it in a way that makes people feel bad, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I do it so I can show my EP.
Nice. All right, let's see what other questions you guys have. I see somebody asking what god's on the table. I can't spoil it.
Yeah, no, that's
Go back and watch that 2020
cannot tell
God
you.
teaser.
Yeah, watch that 2020
there
God
are a
video.
lot of secrets in that teaser.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I'm
this is
very
a live
excited
Q&A.
for one of them. I am very, very, very excited for one of them.
Which one? Don't say.
Don't say it. Yeah. This might be a question for you, Fish. Terry Quill asks, why can't we play custom games against bots in siege mode?
So I'm not entirely sure. We could do the number of players in the lobby. We could potentially switch the map. I'm not sure. We can look into it.
Yeah. Good suggestion. Thanks. Fish will look into it. Let's see here. Any ideas for adding more custom game options? This is another thing that the Olympians brought up. Being able to add more options to custom games, akin to like the match of the day style stuff, infinite mana, like no cooldowns. If it's in a custom game, why not? And I know this is something that we've been exploring, but it takes a significant amount of work.
We definitely have. I've looked.
You okay, Tina? Oh my
That's why it like scared me. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, so I've looked into some of those things. The thing to keep in mind is that additional custom game miscellaneous options is not a very widely used feature, and it is a non-trivial investment, right? So it's not that we don't want to do it; it's that there's we've got a lot of stuff going on. We got new characters, we have game mode updates, we have events and stuff, and to spend time in that takes away resources from other things. So we have to find a time and resources in a way that makes sense. But we are definitely looking into it.
Cool. All right, next question here. Somebody asked, are there any plans for more adventures akin to like the Loki style RPG?
So my answer to that would be never say never. I'm not aware of any currently under development, but it's not like we decided no more adventures ever, right? So we will have to see where it makes sense in the future.
Cool. Peptic's alter ego says breakfast skins. What do you guys think about it?
Okay.
Breakfast
Okay.
skins, like Chef Vulcan,
Like
but
Thanatos,
breakfast?
right? What else
Thanatos.
could you do?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a whole line, right? Like,
Yeah.
who else is like breakfast that we could breakfast?
You could have one of the like more ovular gods, like Kuzumbo or Kepri, be like an egg. Like,
Okay, yeah.
We have like a Baron Samedi bacon skin, bacon Samedi.
Bacon Samdi.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be dope.
Right, it's got-
Yeah,
but yeah, I
but
mean,
I
we can see
really
about
like hash browns the best.
it.
Hash browns.
Who could be Mr. Hash Browns?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I could see an Apollo skin where he like rides down on a platform of hash browns.
There
That
you
could be
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
If you have ideas for breakfast skins, draw them up. We want to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show us
Tag
your
us on
fan art
Twitter.
of breakfast
Yeah.
skins. Hashtag
Bacon Sura. Somebody
Bacon
said.
Sura, yeah.
That's a
Okay,
good
okay.
idea too. Cool. All right. Oh, Bacon Yorm. He's just
like
a big
bacon
bacon
snake?
strip. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I just want to eat him.
All right. Let's see here. Somebody is asking pancake skins. We're still on breakfast here.
Wait, really? Did you
Who
guys
gets
eat
a pancake
today? 'Cause,
skin? Yeah. Oh, I'm kind of hungry.
I am kind of hungry too.
Man, I could see like a Bacchus
could go for
skin
some
where when
bacon,
you
though.
like belly flop on somebody, you squish them down into a pancake.
Yeah.
Like I could see that
Nice,
going
cool.
down. All right.
All right. I'm seeing some questions about a 2v2 game mode for ranked, possibly.
So a 2v2 game mode is an interesting idea, right? Because we have different game modes that cater to different party sizes. So there's definitely something there. Now, a mode for ranked, that's trickier. Ranked is already a much smaller population than casual, and further segmenting that into a party size restricted mode, I'm a little nervous about that. But as a like a non-ranked game mode, there might be something to it.
Yeah, and I know that one thing that I know the design team always considers when talking about new game modes is like further segmenting the player
Sure.
base.
'Cause-
Whenever you add a new mode, like more people.
Are gonna go there, flock that.
You get better
instead of
matchmaking
other-
with a bigger pile of players.
Yeah.
So splitting them off into a smaller pile,
gonna just have
it's a little
shitty
scary.
matchmaking.
Yeah, cool. All right. Stage Fault says, "Where is my John Finch announcer pack?
It's a great question.
Where's Finch? Like, we're just waiting on Finch. We can."
Yeah,
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm here for it too.
Any plans to add an expert difficulty to bots?
We already have the hard difficulty.
And those
That's not
we made them
enough.
harder, right?
Yeah, they're pretty
And some of
intelligent
them,
now.
Some of them like Anubis with really good aim, like that's a scary
Right?
but,
Yeah.
you know,
He
Yeah.
always hits his raps, man.
If there's a big
Yeah.
enough demand for even harder bots, it's something we can look into.
Yeah.
Good.
I play against bots sometimes on the hard difficulty just when I'm letting off some steam
Mm-hmm.
because I get to kill so many. But they're smart. Like
Yeah.
they will.
Charles, who's no longer on
You
the
up.
Smite design team, but was working with us
Yeah.
for AI for a long time, did a lot of improvements
He
across
put in
the
some
board
work,
on
yeah.
Yeah,
AI.
he did.
And like some of it makes them better, some of it makes them smarter, but some of them just makes them more playful and fun, like jumping up and down and stuff. So, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Somebody asked, what about adding old adventures permanently? I can kind of start here. I know anything about adding new modes and maps permanently directly correlates with the game file size and downloads.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's a big factor in why we don't want to, add in all those different modes
gonna slow
on
down
a
the
permanent
game.
basis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not to mention what we were just talking about with
yeah,
splitting up the player
splitting
base
up the
versus
player
matchmaking.
base.
One of the cool things about the adventures being time limited is that it encourages people to try it out while it's available, which helps a new mode that doesn't necessarily have an existing group of followers still have good matchmaking while it's active. And then when we turn it off, the rest of the modes go back to their healthy state. So bringing back old adventures, again, I think there's something there. Bringing it back permanently, that has some problems. So
Cool. All right. Lots of people saying Siege updates. I'll start this off and say we had our first Olympians meeting yesterday, and we talked about Siege for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
So they're definitely getting that feedback from you guys, and it's definitely been passed along to the design team. We don't have any plans set in stone yet, but just know that the design team is aware.
Yeah.
They know that you guys love Siege, and they're considering it.
And behind the scenes, I've heard some talk about some ideas. Yeah.
Let's see here. Separate ranked conquest make a separate queue for parties of 5.
Because we used to allow that, right?
Yeah.
Again, the more piles you split up the player base in, the harder it is to get good matches for each of those piles.
Yeah.
But it's a suggestion that we've heard, so we'll look into it.
Cool.
Or we will evaluate
You know what?
as a rolling basis.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and work with design, and I'm going to create a match of the day that requires you to be in a party of 5, but with Conquest draft. And then we'll put it up, and then if you guys play the heck out of it, and we see that there's a want for it, maybe we can consider
That's a
it.
plan.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
a
go
plan.
and I'll start on that today. It'll probably take a couple updates to get in, just because of the way the dev cycle works. But I think that's a good starting point.
Okay.
I think so too.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we are just about out of time.
Okay.
You guys have anything closing?
That went quickly.
Yeah, I know, right? 30 minutes. Like, time flies when you're having
quick.
fun.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I
Have fun
know.
out
Really
there.
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks again for tuning in to our first Dev Q&A. Again, if you missed it at the top of the show, we've got an update show March 4th. Lots of cool stuff coming your way. Mulan, the Ascendant Warrior, releases next Tuesday, so get ready for that, and we will see you next time.